Say hi. Hi.
What? There's a hot dog thief. What happened to the hot dogs?
I ate it.
Good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, and it's a new vlog. Welcome to my channel. My name is Charlotte. If you're new here, this is my teacher self-care channel. I do all things teacher self-care, classroom tips, teacher lifestyle, just everyday life as a teacher, trying to balance it all. So if you're interested in that, please hit subscribe and the little bell so that we can be friends. I am waking up after doing a classic Herkel-Dirkling in bed. If you don't know what Herkel-Dirkling is, it's the practice of lying around in bed for hours doing nothing after you wake up. That was me today, but it's spring break, so I'm allowed. We just got back from a really fun trip with our grandson. Our Easter was very unconventional this year. If you follow my shorts and my Instagram, you know that we drove a little bit of everywhere over Easter break, and I'm thankful to my husband because he did a lot of the driving. And we are just in a season of life as a family where we have 3 married daughters and 2 of them have young children. And so because of how young their children are, it's hard for them to get out and about to come and visit us over the holidays. So we have been just driving to see them. So it was a little bit of travel to see both our family that lives in locally and then also our other daughter that lives in Virginia. And then we picked up our grandson, took him for a couple of days, and we took him to Raleigh. We did a lot of fun things. Our main thing was going to the Lego store because he's never been to a store that's entirely Legos before. And so we wanted him to experience that because he really loves building things. He likes anything engineering, design. He loves his magnetiles, anything that he can do that has to do with putting things together. He's all about that. So we thought it would be a great outing for him. Plus, he's never been in like the big city before. When he was first born, he lived in the Outer Banks area. And if you've ever vacationed here, you know that it's very remote. And that's one of the reasons why people come here, is to be away from everything. So the closest big city is, well, 2 to 3 hours away. The closest big city in North Carolina, really, I would say, is 3 hours away. That's Raleigh. And so we took him to Raleigh and took him to a large mall there, the Crabtree Valley Mall. We went to the stores. We stayed in a fancy hotel. He's been in a hotel before, but he was a baby, so he doesn't remember. And we stayed in the Hilton Garden, which all of those are pretty much like high ceilings, fancy decor in the lobby, like a lot of, you know, fancy smancy stuff that he had never experienced. So it was really fun to watch him. He ran all over the place. He was excited about the long hallways, the mirrors all over the walls, the fancy lights in the ceiling, the plant wall in the lobby, like all the things. He was just, you know, everything was fantastic to him. And he got to ride in an elevator for his first time, push the buttons. We went to the mall. He rode the escalator for the first time. It was just a lot of fun, like taking him to do all these things that, you know, we know he'll remember. He ate a hot dog off of a food cart, which he'd seen in movies, but he'd never actually experienced. So he was really excited about that. And we took him to the Marbles Kids Museum, which if you ever have a chance to go to Raleigh, I would highly recommend that you take your kids to the Marbles Kids Museum. However, we went on a day when there was an event, and I recommend trying to go on kind of like a slower time, because it's one of those places where you go in and there's all these different zones and kids just play. It's not like a traditional museum. It is really totally geared towards children of all ages. There are rooms for babies, toddlers, and then older kids, and there's so many fun things for them to do, but they get in there and they get overwhelmed and they just start running from one thing to another. So it can be a little difficult, like keeping your eye on your kid, especially in this one room. They have like a slide area, and there are different activities all around the slide in a circle, and it's kind of hard to keep track of where your kid is at that point. But thankfully, Grayson's old enough that we could talk to him about checking in when he comes down the slide, coming by us and just letting us see him so we know like where he's at. But he had so much fun. And a couple of his favorite things, there was a room on the first floor where it's kind of like a little city, and they have an ambulance play set. It's sort of like a maybe jungle gym. It has like monkey bars and things like that, places they can climb, and they can sit in the ambulance and pretend to drive it. They could dress up like a worker. There was one of those, and then there was a fire truck, which he's super excited about that because he says right now that he wants to be a fireman when he grows up. So he was really excited about sliding down the pole, dressing up in the fireman's jacket, sitting in the seat and pretending to drive the fire truck. And it was just a lot of fun for him. He got to turn the lights on. So much fun. So he really loved that. And then I personally thought it was so much fun taking him into the room that was on the second floor near the Legos. There's like a life-size Legos area where you can play with oversized toys, or you can also put regular size Legos on the wall and make designs. And then they have tables there. But right next to it, there's this like discovery area where you walk in. The room is surrounded by this like video screen, and it's like a city, an animated city. And at first when you walk in, you don't really know what's going on because you see this animated city, and then there are tables with, you know, markers all over the place and things that kids can color. But there are stations around the room, and as you stand there for a little while, you realize that what's happening is the kids are coloring pictures, then they're placing them on one of these little scanning stations, and the scanner scans the pictures that you create into the real-time video and then animates it. So he colored a hot air balloon and put his name on it, and it scanned it into the video so that he could see his hot air balloon floating across the city. That was just really, really cool to me. Like, that technology is amazing that kids can, you know, interact with things like that nowadays. So we really enjoyed that as well. They do have an IMAX theater, and he loves dinosaurs, and they had like a Godzilla and dinosaur like IMAX movie that was supposed to be showing, but they had a special event, so they had only reserved it for the people that were there for the special event. So we'll have to go back another time and do that, but it was really fun. We of course ate a lot of good food. We tried Benny's Pizza, which is right around the corner from the museum, just a block or two away, and we ate off the food cart. Like I said, we had a picnic on our way there in a local park. Like, it was just a good time. Had a really good time. So now we're home, and we are doing a few things to get cleaned up and ready because my parents are coming this evening, well, this afternoon, however long it takes them to drive here, depending on the weather and if they have to stop or not. But they're coming for a few days to visit us over our spring break. So really excited about that. I'm going to go ahead, take a quick shower, and then I have some things that I need, some laundry that I need to go through. And I want to pull some of the spring and summer things out of my office closet, because that office is also our guest room, and I want to kind of like clean up in there. But before I can, I need to get some of those things out of there so that I can move some of the things that are in the office into the closet out of my parents' way. So that's kind of what's going on this morning. So let's go ahead and get busy. So here's the status of the room right now. It's kind of crazy in here. We are washing the sheets currently. And we got to deal with this. And I need to make room in here for my parents' stuff. I am so overwhelmed when I look at this. Literally, this is why I have not done this, because there's so much to do. And I don't even know where to begin right now. Okay, I think we're gonna start with pulling the stuff out that's on the floor. I can see the floor. And I've made the executive decision that I'm doing nothing with that today. But I made some room for winter clothes.
Grown quite a lot into the path, so we need to maybe do some trimming.
It turned out to be a gorgeous several days when my parents were here visiting. My mom and I had fun visiting a local greenhouse and picking up some flowers. I got to plant, which always makes my heart happy. I love planting season. And then also hung a hanging basket here. Good afternoon. It is now Saturday, April the 6th, and my parents have just left. They were here for a few days and it was so good to catch up. It was just a quick trip, but I really enjoy it when they visit. Just a lot of relaxing, eating good food, spending time talking and catching up. So yeah, we went out to see Katie and Tucker and Alba for an afternoon, spent a little time with them and got some ice cream out there. We took them out to dinner at the local important restaurant and just enjoyed sunshine. So now Baxi and I are outside. I'm getting ready to cut these microgreens because they're ready for harvest. And then I thought I might try to get my area ready to plant my wildflower seeds. So we'll see how long it takes me. I've got to cut out some of the sod to make a good area for that. So it's warm right now, so we're gonna take advantage of the sun.